Yesterday we have discussed about the introduction that there are major features of the PostgreSQL, limitations, uh, common database objects. Then we also have seen what is a database cluster, how it is different from the rack cluster, what you have in the Oracle or the OS level clustering. Okay. So the database cluster in Postgres is something like the instance in Postgres. Okay, it is a standard terminology what we use, that is a cluster. One single cluster can have many databases. Uh, you want to start and stop it, it will be at the instance level. If you want to make any changes, you need to edit the configuration file. You have to do start and restart. It is at the instance level, not at the database level. You have 10 databases inside inside one single instance. I will be doing all the database start and stop at the instance level. And the system architecture, there is a Postgres at the top. Under the Postgres, we have shared buffer, wall buffer, process array. All these memory segments are inside the shared memory, RAM. By default, shared buffer is 128 MB. Wall buffer is 8 MB. And now there is utility process or set of utility process we have, that is BG writer, wall writer, check pointer, and so on. Okay, so that is what we have discussed. And there are some segments like memory segments, data file, PG wall, archives, log error. Okay. Uh, then I have shown you how do we create a database, finding a physical location of the database. Okay, that is what we have. Today we are implementing the security. In security, there are three different levels: server level, database level, object level, followed by configuration parameters. What is the use of the parameters in Postgres? Whether it requires a start or restart. I want to check with you. Do you have the link which is shared by Lakshmi? Do you have that link? Please say yes or no in the chat panel. If you don't have that link, I will be sharing with you right now. Okay, so I'm sharing you the link. Give me 2 seconds. Even if I share you the link, will you be able to download it and install on your Windows platform? Will you be able to download and install? Okay, I'm sharing you. So I'm sharing you the Windows software. If you are comfortable with Linux, yes, you can also download that, the Linux thing. This is a Google Drive link, what I'm sharing. We will install the Postgres. Check the chat panel. The link is updated. Once you download it, confirm me in the chat panel. Once you start the download, let me know. If you want to share the screen, yeah, you can do that. Yes, Kalam. It is for Postgres software. Did you install it on Windows or Linux? Okay. So I'm sharing you a few commands which we discussed yesterday. Okay. So try to execute that. 1 second. I'm sharing you. You need to connect to the Postgres. Inside the Windows, you will find PSQL. This is SQL shell prompt. You'll get it. Open that. Hit enter. What is the database name? Enter 5432 port. No need to change. Username and password. You need to type 123456. So you'll get this prompt. Okay. Once you see this prompt, you have to create a database, then call show data directory. It will be different from my. Okay. And this is the first thing that you need to do. I'm adding in the chat panel. I'm adding a few more details.
Yeah, hi team. This is the notepad link, wherein all the steps are added in this notepad. I'm adding that link in the chat panel. Okay, so open that link and implement. Try to complete this in 15-20 minutes. Okay, so I have added whatever we discussed in yesterday's class. Okay, so it has been added. Try to complete in 15-20 minutes. By opening that link, you will see all the steps. Okay, don't modify that. Copy that steps in your local notepad and then you do the implementation. Okay, so try to complete by 8:15. Okay, 8:15 you should be completing. And one of you can unmute and say that you have completed. Okay, once around 8:15 you can just announce that you have completed, either in by unmuting.
Hello Shankar, I have executed the commands.
Okay, okay. Okay, now we'll start. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the configuration parameters. In the configuration parameters, we find the server configuration file. How do we change the parameters, connection settings, memory settings, wall settings? This module is typically on PostgreSQL.conf file. So there are many configuration parameters that affect the behavior of the database system. And then there is a server configuration file called PostgreSQL.conf file that is there at every database instance or a cluster. So if you make any changes to this configuration file, it requires a restart. To list all the parameter which requires a restart, you need to say select name from BG settings where context is postmaster. In order to edit this configuration file, you can use PostgreSQL.conf file, which is located inside every database cluster. This is the server level changes, what we call. You can also make the changes at the session level using set command. User level, that is alter username. Uh, for a specific user, you want to allocate more memory, you can say alter user. Okay, then we can also do it at the database level. The database level, say for an example, uh, for a specific database, you want to allocate more memory during the maintenance activity.
Hello,
Alter
Siva.
database, alter database. Yeah, please tell me.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, for SQL shell, I have posted some error in the chat.
What is that?
Not able to connect. Full
So
connection.
your instance is not running, but that is the one problem. You need to install it and then try to connect. If not, you what
So
port
PSP 11 already is there in my system.
no, it is there, but it should be the instance should be started, right? Without starting that instance, it will not going. It's not working.
Okay.
So you need to start that instance, or you do one thing: you uninstall and reinstall it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So for a specific database, I want to allocate more memory. Then you can say alter database name, set maintenance work mem to 10 MB. So the maintenance activities on a specific database will be on the higher side. So we can create an index, run a vacuum full. This kind of performance activities will be improved. Once you make these changes, okay, now I want to make the changes at the session level, user or database level. Once you make the changes, if I want to query those parameters, you need to use show parameter name. That will give us the list of all the parameters, whichever you made it. Okay, whichever the parameter you made the change, you can query it. So these are the three levels. And there is one more level, that is system level. I want to make the changes as a DBA, database administrator, at the server level. You can say alter system set work mem to 20 MB. Okay, so if you want to make the changes at the server level, you can use alter system. The pre the previous slide we have made the changes using session user and database level. Now we are talking about the system level. For a specific parameter, you can make the changes at the system level. When you make the changes at the system level, alter system, set maintenance work mem to 20 MB or work mem to 20 MB. The new value, that is today we are making the changes, the new value will be added inside the PostgreSQL auto.conf file. Only that new value will get added. All the changed information will be written in the auto.conf file. So this is the way of making the changes. Now we are going to talk about connection settings. These are all typical DBA activities. Now, connection settings is the listen, that is the listen address. The listen address is that the IP address of the production server. If a client is trying to connect to the production server, you need to add the IP address inside the listen address. That is the production server IP address, what we call. Now there is one more configuration file, that is HBA. So inside the pghba.configuration file, you need to add the client IP address. But in the PostgreSQL.configuration file, you need to add production server IP address, on which IP address it should listen for a connections. The port number, what is the port number you want to use it? On the Linux box, there are 65,000 ports are available. You can make use of any of the available ports. Max connections, which says that how many concurrent connections you want. Right now it is 100 connections. You can set it to 1000, 2000. Okay, so it depends upon the application side. Once the max connections is set to 100, I'm setting the max connection to 100. Out of 100 connections, 3 connections are reserved for the super user. Okay, so this is connection settings, listen address, port number, max connections, super user connections. So these are the changes. We are doing it one time, not on daily basis. This is memory settings, connection settings, memory settings. In memory settings, I have shown you the architecture of the Postgres. And inside the shared memory, we have shared buffer. Shared buffer loads the data. And you should allocate 25% of the available RAM to shared buffer. If your RAM size is 100 GB, allocate 25 GB to the shared buffer. That is used for reading and writing. Okay, so I want to perform some reading and writing that will be processed through shared buffer. If your shared buffer is very less, then the IO performance will be reduced. There will be a lot of lag between what you are inserting, and the performance will get degraded. So allocate at least 25% of the RAM. Then we have temp buffers. Your developer would be creating temporary tables, right? Create temporary table. That is nothing but the temp buffers. Then we have work mem. I want to do a sorting and filtering. I have a statement which has got a sorting and filtering. Select star from the table, order by ID, limit 1000. So this order by thing is for the work map. If you allocate work map to a lower value, the performance of sorting and filtering will be very, very slow. Okay, so allocate work map at least 10 GB at the server level, 10 GB of RAM. Auto vacuum work map, yesterday I shown you the use case of auto vacuum. So auto vacuum is basically used for performing the maintenance activities like vacuum full. Okay, so that is the use case of auto vacuum. Now your auto vacuum says that I have lot of tables. Okay, so if you have a lot of table, and if the performance is not good, okay, of the auto vacuum, the only reason why the performance is not good because the CPU utilization is on the higher side. Okay, for the auto vacuum workman. So the Postgres is that the more the RAM, the better the performance. Okay, so that is what auto vacuum will do it. Maintenance workman, as a developer or as a DBA, you would be doing some kind of maintenance activity. Okay, like creating an index, altering a table, adding a foreign key constraints. Okay, so as a developer, you need to do some kind of activities, right? That is known as maintenance workman. Then we have wall settings. This comes in next Monday class. This is for setting up a online backup, point in time recovery, streaming replication. If you want to set up, then you need to say the first parameter wall level to replica. Replica is for the streaming replication, point in time recovery. Wall buffer is the area which stores the transaction logs. When you do a begin, insert, update, delete, from shared memory, it writes to the wall buffer. So that is nothing but wall buffers. It is basically used for storing the transaction logs. Then we have checkpoint. Yesterday I have explained you what is checkpoint. Checkpoint is triggered for two conditions. So the first checkpoint will be every 5 minutes, and the other one is size based. Now it is 5 minutes, right? So in the real time, you cannot use it 5 minutes. It should be at least greater than 30 minutes. And the max file size, it says 1 GB. Even that 1 GB is not good. Okay, it should be at least 120 GB, 200 GB, so that IO performance will be improved. So if you have a less checkpoint value, then you are putting a lot of load on the production server. Okay, so that is the wall settings. Any questions you have, let me know. Okay, no questions, fine. So this is the continuation to the configuration. We have log management, where to log, when to log, and what to log. In where to log, we have log destination. The first line, it says that whether you want to maintain the logs in a standard error format, plain text format, CSV as a spreadsheet, and then whether you want to maintain the logs in a Linux server, that is syslog,
And for Windows, we have event log that is only specific to the event. Inside the control panel, you will find the event logger. Okay. Then we have logging collector. This should be on. If it is not on, then it becomes useless. The logger process, there will be no logs at all. Log directory, what is the directory name you need? And then file name, rotation age. It says that what is the duration of this log? It going to generate on daily basis. Size is by default 0. It can be up to 10 MB or 20 MB. That is where to log. In when to log, we have client side messages. Now client is not able to connect to the production server. You can log it. Even the server side messages, it is login messages. Okay, so the login messages, if there is any crash happens at the production server, it is login messages. The login error statement, it says that any kind of system error, it's going to write to the error log file. As a developer, we would like to get the list of all the statement which is taking more than 5 seconds. So that is nothing but log min duration statement. So it logs all the slow running statements. Okay, so this is more towards the auditing logs. That is what to log. You want to log the successful connections, which user disconnected, which user connected. I want to say log line prefix, log duration. That is for showing the execution time. Okay, you want to see the execution time of every statement, then you can enable this log duration. Then we have log line prefix log statement. This is useful during the implementation of point-in-time recovery. You have a user connecting to Postgres database, and he has executed a table. I mean, he has executed a statement, drop table. You want to see at what time the user connected, what type of statement he has executed, that you can identify using the log statement and the other one, log line prefix. And you can also check the disk size, the temporary disk size, or you can allocate the disk size by just saying log temp files. And you want to see when the checkpoint is triggered. That is the checkpoint. You can set it. Okay. So keeping this in mind, I'm going to share you one lab exercise. If you, in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, so with the configuration and the security, there is a lab that you need to do it now, which I'm updating in the notepad. The same notepad link which I shared you earlier. So here I'm adding it. The information, whatever you are typing now, this will be logged. Plus, you can also see there is row level security, and then we can also set up the default privileges. Okay, so this is the lab that you need to try now. Okay, so you can try, and once you complete, let me know. I think it will take 15-20 minutes. Once you complete, we can close for the day, and from Monday we can join. Okay, so please start the lab exercise.
Yeah. Hello, Shankar.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, I have a doubt. So currently I'm in the EDB store in the SQL shell. How to get an exit out of the?
You need to type exit.
Yeah, if I type exit, it's exit out of the command prompt
Oh,
itself.
okay. You need to use the \q.
Okay. Yeah, it also exit out of the
Yeah,
command prompt.
yeah. So that shell prompt is only for without executing the /q or exit. Okay, don't use that. You can open multiple terminals.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes, Shankar. Command have been executed.
Okay, we'll wait for others also. Once they confirm, did you complete both?
Both in the sense,
There is row level security and default privileges.
yeah, default privilege is same as already you have given.
Oh, is it? I added double time then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait for others, and once they complete, we can end.
Yeah, sure.
So team, if you are lagging behind, you can try it later, and we can end the class now if you don't have any questions. Okay. Thank you. See you on Monday.